Welcome to What's Up with Bowling Green Winlectric. We're your go-to podcast for lighting tips, interior design insights, and expert advice on all things home, electrical, and design. Join us as we chat with local guests, electricians, and designers as we dive into the world of DIY tips, building ideas, and indoor-outdoor home solutions to help you create the perfect ambiance indoors and out.
Hey guys, today we're joined with Simple Life Properties, Mike and Beth Wagner. They have a couple of locations, short-term rentals and event venues that we're going to talk about today in the Glasgow area, mostly around the square. And we're also going to be talking about reviving historic buildings in the area and kind of I'll say troubles and tribulations that come along with doing that. Guys, can you talk a little bit about yourself and your business? Maybe did you grow up around Glasgow?
I grew up in Glasgow, but actually about 5 miles out past the high school, on a farmed all my life. I'm a farm girl. Moved to Nashville, met him, and brought him back with me.
Oh,
Yeah, so she brought me back here, and I didn't know what I was getting into, but I've been here for
6 years?
36 years now.
36. Wow.
Like I've always been here, so I just love it. And
Yeah.
I'm glad we can participate in a growing community.
Oh, that's awesome. So, you're the owners of Simple Life Properties. As you mentioned, you're the builder and she's the designer. Want to make that clear. I think he might be a little worried about claiming the designer
He
aspect.
could be.
I am definitely not the designer. I cannot see colors, and she has done a wonderful job. Most of the properties that we have, people come in and say, "Who was your designer? Who was your design architect?" And I was like, "It's my wife, Beth. She is 99% of it's her." So
Yeah, it's really cool. I remember the first project that we worked together on. I was just like blown away when you sent me some of the finished things that some of the different. It seemed like you had a bike in
We do.
yeah.
like just some of the little things that you put together. I was just like, that's crazy. Glasgow. This is Glasgow.
Thank you. Every one of them has their own personality.
Yeah.
There'll be something that will pique your interest. It may be like you said, a bike.
Yeah.
That's a table actually in balcony on Broadway, or a picture that we find, or a piece of artwork, or some of the architecture in the buildings.
And then do you just kind of build the theme around
We do.
that individual thing? That's really cool.
We do.
So what got you into this type of a thing? Because I can't imagine somebody just goes, you know what I want to do? I want to revive historic buildings.
We used to travel a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we still do
we
some.
travel quite.
And we love to stop at little towns. We look at the
Gotcha.
buildings and go in the boutiques, the local owned restaurants, versus the big box stores and things.
Yeah.
We enjoy the small towns. And we found that we were looking at the architecture of the buildings more than we were the gizmos or gadgets that they had to sell.
Right.
So he was farming one day, and the corner building where balcony on Broadway is went up for auction. He came in to see. We had no idea how much it would cost to buy a building, and said, well, the only way we're going to know is if we go see. And we
Yeah.
had been very blessed that year, and we came, and the rest is history.
Yeah, she says,
That's so cool. I mean, I'm not typically somebody who gets into architecture or anything like that, but what I do have is this weird ability, as far as it seems to me, to latch on to other people's passions. So seeing how passionate you guys are about what you do, like, pulls me in. And I'm like, when you're showing around, I mean, just the view that the camera's getting here, the stained glass, and you looking out over the square is just so cool to me. And then you've got, the second floor loft area. And again, guys, this is a sneak peek. This unit's not even open yet. And I apologize. Can you tell me again what the name of this unit is?
This one is the Loft and Quill.
The Loft and Quill. Even just the names that you have for the places are really cool to me.
Thank
But
you.
as you mentioned, you've got a couple of wall sconces and then a chandelier in here that came direct from Turkey.
They did.
That is so cool.
You've helped us tremendously through our projects with lights and all the things that we need in that direction. But we pull
Yeah.
in just some unique things from random places.
Yeah, I mean, helped you, which is just getting you what you need. Like, I don't have to do much. You guys are very self-sufficient. So once you bought the first building, did you at any point kind of feel like you were over your head?
Oh, no. So it started about 22 or 23 years ago. We bought a farm
Mm,
that had a house on it. We wanted to farm. We didn't really care about the house, but then we decided we would go and try to salvage the house.
yeah.
I had never seen the inside of the house. So we purchased it. For 6 months later, the people moved out. We went in and started remodeling. And after about a week, I came home and said, we just tear it down. It was just a terrible idea. Let's tear it down. And she said, no, let's don't do that. It's salvageable. So, 2 or 3 weeks go by. She comes home. We just need to tear the thing down. We're too far in at that point. And so we got our feet wet there. And we actually live in a house that was originally built in
37 by my grandmother and grandfather.
Wow.
So we've added on to and remodeled that one several times. And so we had somewhat of an idea. Then we got into the commercial space, and which is a whole other ball game, and found out the nuances of building and remodeling old buildings. And I think we had 7 roofs on the first building we did. We had to take off. We actually had to totally gut the building
Wow.
all the way down to the bones. And but it really turned out really nice. We had a great design team, Deco Architecture out of Somerset. They
Nice.
were a design team that helped us, and they helped us with all of our properties as far as the architecture is concerned.
Wow, that's I just can't imagine. Like I see some of the buildings, you see them in Bowling Green, and we've seen them here in Glasgow, of course, too, or just pretty much anywhere you go, any historic square or historic part of a downtown. It just seems like it always has to end up going through a revitalization process. Do you guys see anything in particular that really jumps into your mind about what makes that so much harder when you're in a revitalization part versus just a regular remodel?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's number one, there's a historic commission in Glasgow, and you have to abide by the rules of it. You're supposed to,
Yeah.
and that's for the most part, most people do. So that's the first challenge you have to have, and then you get to trying to do uh, what's good for the neighborhood,
Right.
and not trying to build something that's
That
not
doesn't
gonna-
fit.
that doesn't fit.
Right.
So, and that's a really big challenge. And this building and the one next to it is a prime example of that. So when we started demoing, we did the other side first, the other building first. And when we started demoing it, we uncovered an arch. It's similar to this one, but it
Wow.
was just framed in. So the first challenge was, well, we're going to bring it back the way it originally was. And finding a craftsman to build that arch was next to impossible. And we found a builder up in Cub Run, Kentucky, that rebuilt that arch and did an amazing job.
Wow.
And it brought it back, not exactly how it was when it was built in 1900, but it was pretty darn
As
close.
close as we could,
Wow.
achieve.
I mean,
It's as close as we can
We
afford.
can afford it.
well, and that's kind of what I was getting at with that question is, it's easy. Well, I shouldn't say easy really, but for someone like me, I would just think, let's just go, like you said initially, each of you said initially, let's just tear it out. So I would just think, let's just go ahead and gut this thing and do it however, to make it fit the space. But you guys are actually coming in and seeing what's there,
We want to keep as
trying
much
to
charm.
keep as much as you
Yes.
can of what is currently there. And that obviously creates more issues, but it's something that you want to get through to make the
It
space.
does. We want to save as much of the history, as much of the charm of the old buildings as we
Right.
can. They just have more character than some of the new ones do.
Yeah.
And so we even uncovered a door, 21-foot door on the other side that we had no idea was there.
21-foot.
21-foot door that
Fire
was
door.
a fire door.
Right.
That was interesting. So we kept that.
Why
And
would you
that's-
ever need a 21-foot door from?
Because
for?
there was a undertaker on the other side, and there was a furniture store on one side, an undertaker on the other, and they were building furniture and caskets.
We're not
And
sure what
so-
they were trying to protect, but
But they had to have fire protection between the two.
That just seems crazy. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I latched on to that.
That's one of the features in that space.
Right. Wow.
Was we were able to
So
keep-
you kept that.
Oh,
We
yeah,
kept the
yeah.
door.
Wow. Wow. That's one of the spaces I think I haven't seen, I guess.
You'll
'Cause
have
I
to walk
think-
you in there.
I think between these two spaces, I've been in 4 of your spaces. And
That one's actually in a retail space.
A retail.
okay. Yeah. I don't think I've been in your retail spaces, which brings up the information about the fact that you guys have 6 short-term rentals, each with their own personality, like we
do.
mentioned, and then 2 event venues,
We do.
along with some retail spaces. So you're like dabbling in a lot of the different areas there.
We started renovating a building, had no idea what it was going to turn into to
Yeah.
a business as it has. But we've been very blessed and are excited to have great tenants in our buildings. Excited to have the event venue for small places for people to gather
Right
here where people to stay, where they can walk out on the square, shop, eat. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's nice to see. And there's been so many people in the community that have jumped on board and worked on their buildings. Entrepreneurs have started their own businesses, and it's fun. It's fun to be a
Yeah,
part
it
of.
is so
exciting to be a
cool
part
to
of.
see, because I remember when I first moved to the Glasgow area, it was 95. There were several spaces that I don't know that I remember ever seeing a
Mhm.
business in from pretty much the entire time I lived in this area. And so seeing these buildings, being renovated and really just, it's going around the square now is just amazing. And so much of that is because of you guys and what you're doing. And I just think that is
Thank you.
so cool. And I remember actually going back to one of my questions or the things I mentioned about the first unit when you told me. And I'd only had a couple of calls with you, I think, at the time. And you're like, yeah, we're going to do an Airbnb. And I'm like, and wait a minute, where is this? And you're like, on the square in Glasgow. And I'm like, Airbnb on the square? Like, that just seemed like crazy to me. And then I remember seeing the pictures again, and I was just blown away. And this place, again, guys, this is a sneak peek. So this is... It's amazing space. We definitely want to get a shout out to where people can reach out to you before the end of this. So definitely, if you're listening or watching now, you want to catch that information so that you can, reach out to them. So, what are some points about that when you're going through this process? People may be watching some of these HGTV shows and things like that, where they're seeing older buildings get renovated. What are things that are behind the scenes that they may not know about?
Goodness.
Well, they don't show the arguments.
Yeah. Y'all are together in this.
Yeah.
You're together here. You're together at home. Yeah.
We should have pulled Chris back in here. He would agree as well.
But no, it's there are things that they gloss over on the television,
Sure.
but they roll out the dramatics of it. But it's, for the most part, it's we get to see things through each other's eyes.
Wow.
And
Yeah. He says, we have to have an HVAC unit here. And I said, no, but I want a room here. So we have to adjust over those things.
Sure.
and her vision for the decorating is just outstanding. And
Yeah.
I have a really tough time visualizing that part, and she has a tough time. Used to have a tough time
Visualizing
visualizing
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and seeing things in 3-dimensional in her mind instead of after it was built.
Or knowing where to put a light when there's no wall there. That's very difficult for me.
That's, just to be fair, it didn't necessarily get a ton easier. I mean, I've been in the lighting industry now for 19 years, and sometimes I'll go into a space and I'm just like, because
Also, it's
now a lot of times I go in and I can have 15 or 20 different suggestions, because lighting is not like plumbing. Just as an example, when you're plumbing your bathroom, you're going to have sink or 2, you're going to have a toilet, you're going to have a shower or tub.
Right.
With lighting, you could light that same space 100, 150, 200 different ways.
Yep.
And but I do like the ability to be able to work on projects, specifically like the ones that you guys are doing, because it's just so fun. So do you have an piece of advice or anything like that, if someone were looking at purchasing a historic building or thinking about doing something along the lines of what you guys have been doing? which I know that's a very broad question.
Would suggest that you do it right
Mm-hmm.
and do it right the first time. Cutting corners may save you money, but in the long run, it's going to cost you money. We build these buildings. This building we're in right now was built in 1900, and it's 126 years old. And we hope it's going to be here another 126.
Right.
So we build it to last. God, we give the glory,
Absolutely.
and we are to do things in excellence, and that's what we strive to do, to give Him the glory. We have been tremendously blessed, in so many different ways, family and jobs and
Health.
Right.
Mhm.
properties and you know, all these different things He's blessed us with, and we try to do the best that we can to honor Him.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. I tell you, we joked a little bit earlier about, you know, uh, Chris made the comment that, sometimes the phone calls weren't fun for me or whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's so terrible to talk to on the phone, which is not the case. But
Most times.
no, it's
You weren't home with her.
true. But
No.
you just, truth be told, you guys have been such a pleasure to work with. And, for me, I would try to bend over backwards for people like you guys because, number one, you do have these amazing projects, but you're just easy to work with from the standpoint of, you understand sometimes things, take a little bit longer time to get certain things or whatever. Not everybody's like that, but when you're putting something together like this, if you're getting fixtures from Turkey, they're not going to be overnight,
Right.
And if one breaks, you can't get the replacement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We found that out the hard way.
Oh, yeah. That's
Go back to the question with
Yeah.
the advice to get. Also, I would suggest to talk to your code officials before
Yeah.
you start the project.
wow. That's a very good
Get
point.
them on board with your project and your ideas before. That will save you a lot of headaches in the long run.
And they've been super to work with.
So that's one of the things I was going to
Yeah.
point out. One of the buildings that we worked on where you were having the commercial kitchen space and all that. And, I was like, there's some code different, because I'm a little bit more familiar with the codes in Bowling Green. And here they're a little bit different, but, it was so easy to work with. Is it Jim?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not great with names, but he was, just told me straight up, you got to have this, you got to have that. And, but if you got to give a little bit on one thing, you take on the other, we can work it out, but you got to be within these codes. And it was very upfront, nothing hidden. I mean, and that just makes it nice. So that's very, very good advice. Very good advice. So if you would take just a moment to mention out of your 6 short-term rentals, maybe talk just very briefly about those and what your event spaces, are typically used for, kind of how they're set up.
Okay.
And then let's let the listeners know how to be able to schedule those.
Okay. Everything can be scheduled through simpleLifeProperties.net, or the event venues are to call me direct at 270-670-0960.
Okay.
We have the event venues. We have the soiree at Plaza Way, and then we have now the soiree annex. So we can seat up to 100 on one side and up to about 60 on the other. So
Wow.
with an adjoining door between the two if you chose to use both of them.
Gotcha.
Then we have Balcony on Broadway, which is our first one. That's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with a great balcony looking over at the plaza. We have the Wilbur. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We have Copper and Elk, which overlooks the square with the other big arched window.
Yeah.
It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And we have the Plaid Peacock. That's also a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it has an adjoining door between them.
Oh,
So
that's really cool.
you can have a large group that joins with those. Then we're in the Loft and Quill that will be
Brand
opening
new.
just really soon. And behind it, also with the connecting door, is going to be the Cobalt Terrace.
Gotcha.
Both of these are 1-bedroom and 1-bath in this one, 1.5 bath in the Cobalt Terrace. But the terrace is a huge balcony on it as well with a fire pit, outdoor game table, and so it's a great space. It's
walk
gonna be a
through
great space.
when we were walking through that, I was like, man, this is a spot. It could be a little party pad
It
kind
could, and then all
Yeah.
of them have sleeper sofas, so you get an extra 2 people
you
to
go.
stay in there as well.
Ni-
It's on the square, like I said, walk around downtown,
Yeah.
go to the plaza, go to the Hive, go to the shops and boutiques. It's a
Right.
great place to be.
Yeah, and these aren't like hotel things, guys. This is a full kitchen area. We're sitting at the island here, which is clearly like what, a 6-foot island. I mean, we're on 3 of the stools. The built-in over here with the TV is amazing. That
Thank you.
thing, that's nice.
We want to
So-
consider them luxury boutique
Yeah,
type places to
yeah, it's
stay.
very
with
beautiful.
with the old charm, but all the amenities of the
Okay.
day.
And again, if you would just again mention your website,
SimpleLifeProperties.net.
.net, and then the phone number.
270-670-0960.
Okay, excellent. Well, guys, I want to thank you very much
Thank you.
for this time. It's really nice to hear about, kind of how you got into this and some of the challenges you had along the way and that, but just the spaces. I'm just sitting here, just still in my head, amazed at looking at the space here in particular, because that's where we're at right now. But I remember the Plaid Peacock too, and that was really cool space. But anyway, guys, this is Sean at What's Up with Winlectric. I'd like to thank Simple Life Properties, Beth and Mike Wagner, for joining us today to talk about what it's like to restore these historic buildings around the square in Glasgow.
Thank you for having us. And you guys, for any events, small or large, we can accommodate.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much, and come see us next time.